All right, hi everyone. We're going to get started now. Thank you for joining us today for this February feature roundup. This is the first one that we're doing of 2017, so thank you everybody who is joining us. So I'm going to be your host today. My name is Angela. I'm the Director of Product Marketing here at Augment. And before we get started, I just want to let everybody know that we are recording this session. So if you miss anything, don't worry. We'll send the recording within the next 24 hours. So as we get started here, if you have any questions during the session, I really encourage you to enter those questions in the GoToWebinar chat window on your control panel. My colleague is there to answer questions, and we'll also have time for questions at the end too. So, if anything comes up during the session, we want this to be interactive. So just enter those questions in the chat box, and we will answer those as they come in. All right, so this is the agenda. What we'll be covering the session today for the next 20 minutes or so. We'll be focusing on updates to the Augment Manager and the Augment app. As you see here, the sharing page, Augment button, folder sharing permissions, public galleries within the Augment app, syncing, and currency trackers. So the common thread here, or the common theme that you'll see in these updates that we're making, is really to help make sharing your models with others easier and more efficient. So that's whether it's internally with colleagues or externally with clients and customers, or even more widely with potential customers and a wider audience. So our goal, what we want to do, is make augmented reality content accessible for everyone. So that's regardless of their familiarity with this technology, really just making it as easy as possible. So I'm going to just dive right into it if nobody has questions yet. We're going to be talking first about the sharing page. Hold on one second. It looks like we do have a question. Oh, great. Okay, absolutely. We have someone with a larger audience who's wondering more about Augment in general. So if you're not really familiar with the platform, Augment is our an end-to-end solution where you can manage, view, upload models, and share 3D models for augmented reality. So we have different components to the suite that we like to call it here. The first component is the Augment Manager, which, as I showed you in the agenda, I'll be going over some updates today, and that's where you actually upload your 3D models to our platform, to the server. We also have a product called Augment Desktop, which is a free tool for all users that people can configure their models. So they can add trigger points for animations that you create in your 3D software. You can add different color configurations so that when someone views your model in the Augment app, they have different options. And then, of course, there is the Augment app itself, and that is what people use to view 3D models in augmented reality. And you don't actually have to have an Augment account to view models in AR, and I'll be talking about that today with different sharing options. And then the final component that I'll mention to the Augment suite is the Augment SDK, which we launched at the end of 2016, and that's really geared toward the retail community, retailers who want to embed augmented reality technology into their e-commerce platforms, whether that be a mobile app or a website. So I hope that answers a question about the larger picture of Augment, but today, again, we're going to be focusing on updates to the manager and the app. So with that, and again, thanks for that question to help clarify for some people as we get started. So first, I want to talk about model sharing options and the sharing page. So the sharing page itself is not new, but you'll see that it has been revamped. It looks a little bit different. And it's that URL that you send to someone when you want to share a 3D model. So here you see that they can scan the QR code with a QR code reader or the Augment app. They could also enter their phone number to access the model. So obviously on the left here, it's a desktop or laptop computer, and on the right, this is what they would person would see on their mobile device where you see that View Live button, which then opens the model in the Augment app. So on that page, you'll see, and let me actually move back just 1 second, you see a bunch of different sharing options, different icons. You see the Facebook, Twitter, so social media options. You can also share via email. So really what we're just doing is generating that sharing page link for all of these platforms. So you can share it in different places, essentially. So now I'm actually going to jump into the Augment Manager so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So bear with me as I switch over here. All right. Okay, so here you can see that I'm already logged into the Augment Manager, and you can see the different models that I have here. So now you'll probably remember that before there was this three-pronged sharing icon, and it appeared beneath this thumbnail image of your model when you hovered over it. And then when you selected it, you'd see different sharing options via social media, you know, all the ones that I was just talking about, or just you could copy the URL and put it wherever you want. So now instead of that, all you have to do is either click this eye icon here or click the thumbnail image itself. And when you do that, you'll see that I'm still in the manager, but this is the sharing page that I've been talking about, and these are the sharing icons here. So you'll see if I copy this link here, I'm actually copying the URL of the sharing page. So if I go to a new tab, and I put that here, you'll actually see the sharing page. So you'll notice now I'm outside of the Augment Manager, and this is what someone who doesn't have an Augment account would be able to see and access. And you'll notice they can also still share it again here. These options are available because I've made my model public in the Augment Manager. So from what I've just said so far, you'll see that the way you access the sharing options is different than it was before. But also, now moving on to the second update here, there's another sharing option which is really cool, and it is the Augment button. So this helps you showcase your 3D models on your website for augmented reality. And it could be for a portfolio website, or maybe just a specific web page on your site where you're showing your work examples, for instance, maybe an architecture model, or they could be models of products that you're selling and you want customers to be able to see them or experiment with them in your space or in their space and understand how it will look and how to fit. So this is what I'm going to be going over now. So I'm actually going to jump back into the Augment Manager. Bear with me. Okay. So actually now I'm going to go back to where we were here on this sharing page. Again, I'm still within the Augment Manager, but you'll see here this fourth icon here. It's a code icon between the email button and the copy link. And what happens here is when I click this, a window appears, and you'll see different customization options. So here I can change the wording to try at home, or I could have View Live. I can change the button size. I do recommend, if you can, make it as large as possible. We want it to be easy for people to understand how to use this and access models in AR. And now what's happening is that the code is automatically being generated. So this is just basic HTML, and here you can see that I can copy this. So it's copied to my clipboard so that I can then paste it. Again, you can see there, copy to clipboard. And I can paste it within the HTML of my website. So that could be a WordPress website or Shopify, or maybe you built your website from scratch, really anywhere that you can just paste that HTML. So what you would then end up with, I'm going to go to a blog post that we published recently, and if you scroll down to the bottom, I have an example here of the Augment button. I just pasted it into this site. We're using WordPress. And actually, if Lindsay, can you copy the link to this this blog post? It'll be a bit.ly link, I think, so that you can see what happens too. So here I'm just going to click the Augment button, Again, I just copied it from the dashboard for the manager, and you'll see you land on this sharing page, which you've seen before. And obviously I'm outside of the manager, so anybody could access this publicly. So I'm obviously on my computer, but if you're on a mobile device and then someone would tap that button, again, I'll go back. So if you're on the blog post and you're on a mobile device, when you tap that, then the model would open in the Augment app. So it doesn't go to a sharing page, it would go directly to the Augment app. Let's see, is there anything else I want to mention there? If you don't have the Augment app yet installed on your phone, so say you had the Augment button on your website, someone goes to your website, clicks the button, but they don't have the Augment app yet, they'll just be prompted to download it. Once the Augment app is installed, then the model automatically appears, and that's what we call deep linking. So that's another feature that we added. So far, do we have any questions yet that I can help answer? I see. Do they need to use the Augment app to view it? Yes. So all of these sharing options with the, to view 3D models, that is what the Augmented app is for. Yes. So that anyone can view your 3D models in augmented reality. Yes. So they will need to download the app to view them. Or, which I'll mention a little bit later, the SDK. So if a retailer has the Augment SDK embedded into their mobile application, they could actually be using Augment, but it's within their app itself. So whether it's Augment or a retailer, for instance, that has the Augment technology embedded in their platform, but yes, you will need an app to view it. Okay, so we're going to move on then to, still within the Augment Manager, to folder sharing permissions. So I'd actually love to know who's already using folders for their models. So that could be for organization purposes, or you're already sharing with others. So if you could just raise your hand by selecting that hand icon on your GoToWebinar panel, I'd love to see who's already using folders. Okay, I see some of you already are. Okay, that's great. Yeah, it's a great way to organize your models for your own use, but they can also be really helpful when sharing models with colleagues. And bear with me, I see a couple questions here. Okay, so there's some questions around the SDK. I'm going to wait actually to the end to answer some of those. Okay, one question is about Windows, and right now Augment is available for iOS and Android. Okay. All right, so I'm going to actually jump back into the Augment Manager again because I want you guys to see exactly what's going on here. So here I am again with all my models. So before we're actually sharing, I want to show you, just as a refresher, how you actually would create a folder with models that you've uploaded. So to create a folder, just a reminder here, you see this new folder text right here on the left side. So all I have to do is just go in there and I'm just going to do, let's say, sample folder. You'll see that I've already created some before that. So sample folder, I just press enter, and you'll see that check mark. So now this folder exists, but it's empty. So here you'll see I have all my models, and to be able to put the models in the folder, I'm going to select this Organize button here. And when I do that, you see I can now select any model that I want. So I'm selecting models, and now that I've selected them, I can add them to any folder. So because I created this folder here, sample photo, I'm going to select that. And once I do that, you'll see now there's a number 3 right here. So my folder now has 3 models. So that's just a reminder of how you actually create a folder and organize your models. But now say I want to share this folder with someone else. What I would do is go next to this Organize button. You see the sharing icon here. And I'm going to select that. So to invite other users to this folder, I'm going to say, let's say Jane Doe at testaugment.com. And all I have to do is send the invitation, just click, oops, click send invitations. And so that person would then receive an email inviting them to this folder so that they can view the models, so that they could sync the models to their device. But this new feature allows you to collaborate on folders. So now not only you, but other people can also add models or remove models from a joint folder. So you'll see that I've invited Jane Doe, she accepts the folder, and now there's this column, this new column here that says write permission. It says your collaborator will be able to add and remove 3D models in this folder. So it's completely up to you, the person that creates the folder. If I just press that toggle yes, now when Jane accepts the folder, she can add models or remove them. Or I could just keep it on no and she would just be able to view, like a view only permission. Okay, any questions so far there? Okay, I see one here. The question is, if someone deletes a model from a folder, is it deleted from the person's account? That's a good question. So if the person who originally uploaded the model, if they delete it, then they'll have the option of removing it permanently from their account. If someone removes a model from a folder but they were not the person who originally uploaded it, then the model would stay in the person's account who did upload it. But obviously it would be removed from the folder. Okay. All right, any other questions about anything that I mentioned in the Augment Manager, sharing options here? Can you share your folder with many people at the same time? Yes, absolutely. So here I just added Jane Doe, but I could add as many people as I want. A couple more questions. Does collaboration work through the app as well? That's a great question, and I think I know what you mean, so I'm going to say no, not through the app. You can't invite people to folders from the app as it stands right now. You would do that through the Augment Manager. That could change though, of course, so I'll keep you guys updated. All right, so we are going to move on then if there's no more questions. And now I'm going to switch over to talk about the Augment app and what's been going on there with the new updates. It looks very different. So if you haven't already updated your app, I recommend that you do. Now is a great time. Go to the App Store or Google Play and update it. And so you'll notice right off the bat that there's no more sidebar navigation. The app has really been streamlined, and you'll see a new toolbar at the bottom. So here what you're looking at are our new public galleries. So they're reorganized categories based on what was being uploaded to the platform and where we think that we can really provide the most value. So this is really just a reminder to make sure that you mark your models as public, because when you do, if they're public, if they're categorized correctly, and if they're high quality models, which is what we all want, then there's a really good chance that your model will be featured. So we're constantly updating galleries with top models, so please continue to make your models public to share. And also, if you want people to find you, really, and your 3D models, you'll definitely want to link the model to the URL of your website so people can see more of your models, more of your products, whatever it is that you're working on. And you can add that link in the Augment Manager by editing the model. And actually, while I'm here, I might as well go into it. So I'm going to select, okay, we're already in the Augment Manager. I just click this pencil icon here, and you can see that I can change the privacy. So it's currently a public model, it's in the correct category, and then you see I have all these different options for editing, and I can just add a web page here. So add a link to my website so that people can find me from that model page, not the model page, from the augmented reality viewer in the app. All right. Okay, any questions there? Okay, someone's asking about the trial version, if they can access models with the trial version of the app. Absolutely, and I want to mention, in terms of the app, you do not need an account to view these models in the public gallery. So that Explore button, that icon at the bottom, it's available for anyone who has the Augment app. You don't have to have an account. You would want an account if you're syncing models to your device, or viewing a folder of models, and that's what that second icon is there at the bottom, the My Models. But in terms of exploring and seeing what we have in our public galleries, you don't need an account, you don't need an Augment account. All right, moving on to syncing. So hopefully you all know how to sync your models, but there are a few tweaks and updates here that I want to make sure everybody is aware of. So as you probably know, all you have to do is pull down on the screen of your mobile device to sync your model. So these are models that you've uploaded to the Augment Manager, or someone has shared a folder with you. And so when you tap that second icon at the bottom, the My Models icon, the syncing progress bar, or the progress, will start right away. So we've added this new feature so that now you can see the syncing progress status via color coding and a bar. We found that people were having a little bit of difficulty making sure their models were synced. They weren't sure if they were synced. So now this is really clear, we hope. So on the left here, you see these are folders, and below each folder, below the thumbnail image of a model, you'll see this green bar. So you know that a folder is still syncing if the green status bar hasn't reached the end. If it has, then it's synced. So then when you go into a folder, you'll know if a particular model is synced to your device because of the color of the dot. So if it's green, that means that it's synced. If it's gray, that means that it has not finished syncing. And just as a reminder, you can still view unsynced models as long as you have an internet connection. If you have Wi-Fi, for instance, or 3G. But if you don't, say you're going into a store that doesn't have a good connection, or if you're in a meeting room, same thing, then your models will need to be synced on your device before you go there so that you can view them. But again, if you have internet access, it really doesn't matter if they're synced or not. Any questions there? Okay, someone's asking about pricing. I'm not going to go into detail there, but if you just go to augment.com/pricing, you can see the different plans that we have. But again, you do not need an account to view public models, or to have someone, to click on an Augment button and to be able to view the model. All right, we're moving through this quickly. We're actually going to move on to the last feature, which is all about trackers. So this is, as a just quick refresher, this is the Augment Universal Tracker, which has allowed anyone to visualize small models on a table or other surface besides the floor. So when you launch a model without a tracker, our algorithm assumes that you're standing and that the model is about 5 feet in front of you, give or take. But with a tracker, and it's up to this point, it's been the universal tracker, you can fix a model in place and you can move around it. You can hold it in your hand. So there's a lot more flexibility by using a tracker if you want to. Again, you don't have to. But now the new feature that we've added are currency trackers. So Augment, yes, is now compatible with cash. So specifically, you can use US currency, so $1 to $100 bills. You can use 5 to 50 euro notes. You can also use 20 to 100 Mexican peso bills. And we'll, of course, keep you updated as we add more there. So if someone launches one of your smaller models that should not be viewed on the ground, it's not a large model or product, all someone needs to do now is grab a dollar bill, they place it on the table, and they point their camera on their mobile device at the bill. The model will automatically stick to it, and I'll actually just play this short video here, and you'll see that's exactly what happens. And so the bill is essentially correcting the size and the stabilization. So what you're seeing here is actually an example app that use the SDK. So this is a retail example, but this works the same way as the Augment app. So now your customers, clients, colleagues, they don't have to print the Augment tracker, the universal tracker, if they don't want to. They can just use whatever bills are in their wallet. Okay, any questions there? Bear with me 1 second, I'm just reading through some of the questions. Okay, someone's still asking about the accounts. Yeah, to sign up for a free Augment account, all you have to do is go to manager.augment.com, and let's enter that in the chat if you don't mind, Lindsay. Great. So you can sign up there. And we also have, I see some people from schools, we do have education subscriptions. So you'll definitely want to check those out if you're a student or if you're a teacher. And when you sign up for the Augment account, the Augment Manager, you'll see an option from the Upgrade Now button. You'll see different subscriptions, and education subscription is one of those options. Okay, and someone, this is a good question, and you might just want to try it. What will happen if we place many bills in the same area or location? I would not recommend that. You really want the model to just fix to one bill. It may actually jump around if you have multiple bills in one area or one scene. So yeah, so just use one. All right, so keep those questions coming. Again, here's a wrap up of what we covered: the sharing page, Augment button, folder sharing permissions, public gallery syncing, and our currency trackers. Okay, and I see a question here about scanning a dollar bill and having a model appear. So I think what you're getting at is custom trackers, and the custom trackers are still active. So all you would need to do is go to the Augment Manager and you upload a unique image. So for instance, not a dollar bill, something unique that you created. And so these currency trackers bills, they're not for scanning, but they're really for stabilizing any model that's been uploaded to Augment. So it's a model that's already been launched from the Augment app or via the Augment button, for instance, and that's when a person would use the currency, the bill. Okay, and in terms of folder permissions, what type of account does someone need to have the folder permissions that I talked about? So to access folders, you're syncing models to your device. So for that, you will need a basic account, and that's just the first tier on the pricing page. So again, that's just augment.com/pricing. Okay, what other questions do you guys have? Keep them coming. Okay, where do I learn more? So that will actually take me to the next page here, help.augment.com. That is our help center, our knowledge base. That's where we're adding videos. I mean, we also have a YouTube account, but a lot of our videos are on the help center. We have articles there. So that's a great resource. But if you see something that is not explained either to your liking and you still need some more explanation, you can reach out to us there for clarification, and that's really helpful for us too, because then we'll add more articles, make sure that the videos are clear. So definitely visit our help center and we can make it clear for you. Okay, so someone asked, can we visualize two models or more than two models at the same time using different trackers? So no, what actually happens, again, as I mentioned before, you want just one tracker in the scene, and that one tracker will stabilize however many models that you have. So the bill will make sure essentially that it's stabilized and that your models are the correct size. You'll be able to move your models around, whether it's one or three models, for instance, or more. You just need that one tracker to view multiple models in the scene. And then something also that I'll mention, you can, I'm giving you a tip here, I guess an insider secret, you can remove the bill, the tracker, once the models have been stabilized and they're the correct size. But I do recommend just keeping it there to be safe. Someone's asking the largest file size you can upload, and a lot of these, there's great questions. These are all on the Help Center, so definitely check out the articles there. But the largest, someone's asking specifically about .obj file that you can upload is 100 megabytes, also 1 million polygons. Someone's asking about GPS coordinates. We don't currently offer that to place it in geographic locations right now in terms of placing it in a specific location. That's really what the tracker is for. So no to GPS, at least right now. We'll keep you updated on that. Someone's asking if objects, 3D physical objects, can be used as trackers. Yes and no. What the Augment app is looking at and is scanning is an image, a 2D image. So yes, I mean, it could be a 3D object, but what it really is one side of the object. So if you printed out a unique image and then you paste it on a 3D physical object, then you could, yes, you could technically scan that. But it's really just scanning the 2D image, not the whole physical product or thing. Great questions, keep them coming. Okay, someone's asking about compatibility with VR glasses or head-mounted displays. Obviously, we're at the cutting edge of a lot of this, and we're exploring a lot, but at this time what we're focused on are mobile devices, smartphones really, smartphones and tablets, because that's what's already in the hands of consumers and your potential customers and clients and colleagues. So, you know, when there is that mass adoption, you can bet that we'll be there, but right now we're focused on smartphones and tablets, so that's what we're compatible with. Again, anything for iOS and Android. Okay, some more questions about models specifically. Someone's asking about animation. Yes, you can definitely have animated models on Augment. What you'll want to do is create the animation within your 3D software. So that could be, you know, Cinema 4D or wherever you can add the animation. And then what you can do in Augment Desktop, if you'd like, is configure that animation. So it's, again, it's an animation that you created in your 3D software. You then bring the model into Augment Desktop, and there's a bunch of tutorials, again, in the Help Center that you can check out. And then you can configure the animation so that when someone taps on a certain part of the model, that animation would play. So maybe the door would open of a washing machine, or a lid would pop off of a package. And now someone's asking about playing videos or linking to a video online. So as I showed you within the Augment Manager, you have the capability to add any URL, add any link to the model itself, and that just appears as a URL link or icon at the bottom of the AR viewer. So from that, you know, they're looking at the model, then they want to see more or learn more about the product or model itself, they would just tap that button at the bottom, and they could go to, say, YouTube or your website to watch a video. Okay, someone's asking about changing materials, different colors. That's something that you would do within Augment Desktop. So yes, definitely check Augment Desktop out. Go to the Help Center. Again, that's the hub where you're going to find all this information, and you can find Desktop to download if you don't currently have it on your computer. Okay, and I'm sorry I'm not getting to all these questions, but if you do have a question that I haven't answered, or maybe you come up with a question 5 minutes after we wrap up here, please do go to the Help Center, and you can, if you don't find your question there, you can reach out to us and someone will get back to you shortly. And also, some people were asking about upgrading their account. You can see here at the on the right side if you want to upgrade your account. Again, go to augment.com/pricing if you'd like to check out the different plans, and augment.com/contact too if you'd like to reach out to us. Someone asked if we have someone on staff that speaks Spanish. Yes, we actually do. Again, just reach out, contact us if you'd like to speak with us. All right. Okay, so great questions, everyone. I hope this was helpful. As I mentioned earlier, this has been recorded and we'll send this out within 24 hours. So these are the feature updates for the last few months. We're going to be doing more of these. But again, if you have any questions that I didn't answer, please do reach out to us. We want to clarify anything that we need to. So thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time. Enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are around the world.